Studio Session gives you a really simple way to create songs in a totally live environment. In Studio Session, you're presented with the row of tabs that represent the 8 tracks of the song. Each tab could contain up to 4 loops which are associated with each action button. Select the tabs using the left and right buttons. Press the appropriate action button to cue up a loop to start playing, and press it again to cue it to stop. To switch from one loop to another in the same tab, just cue up the new loop with the appropriate action button. The tab on the far right, marked M, lets you queue up loops on all tracks to start by pressing any action button. Pressing the start button will stop all loops playing. You can record your performance too. Simply open a menu by pressing the R button and select Record Your Performance. This will record your song ready to be played back or edited in the Song Crafter. Just press the Select button to flip back to the Song Crafter. You've just moved the analog stick downwards to jump the cursor down from the editing screen to the knobs and buttons area. Here you can use your track controls to alter the per track settings for volume, mute, solo, and pan. Or use the master controls to alter global settings for BPM, swing, and master volume. Press the left and right buttons to change which knob or button is selected. If you're in a Song Crafter or Drum Crafter, pressing the up and down buttons will change which track is currently selected, allowing you to quickly and simply alter per track settings. You can adjust knobs by selecting the knob you want to change and then press and hold the X button. While the X button is held down, you can use the directional buttons to spin the knob clockwise or counterclockwise. Alternatively, you can use the analog stick to point directly to where you want the knob to spin to. You can toggle mute and solo on or off by selecting a button and then pressing the X button. You can also press the square button to turn off all solos or mutes. Return to the grid by moving the analog stick upwards. make tunes in a melody crafter by laying down triggers on notes using the X button. Beaterator has a 5-octave virtual keyboard for you to play with. Move up and down it using the directional buttons. You can adjust the sustain for a trigger. This governs how long the trigger sounds for. Keep the X button held down when you're laying down the trigger. Then press the left and right buttons to adjust the length. While you have the X button held down, you can also make the trigger slide up and down to other notes by pressing the up and down buttons. You can even place down triggers while your loop is playing. Press the start button to start and stop playback. Hold down the X button to lay down triggers with longer sustains. When you've placed triggers down, you can adjust the individual volumes by holding down the X button and pressing the up or down buttons. When you're making a loop using sounds, the Melody Crafter has a second mode that is based around live performance. This mode is called chord pad mode. Switch between modes using the select button. When you're in chord pad mode, the button display changes to show 4 different chords on the action buttons and the delete function on the L button. Now when you press an action button, you'll make a chord sound instead of a single note. Choose chord pad mode rehearse if you just want to rehearse and check out the chords. Choose chord pad mode record to record your chords into your loop. When you spend some time using chord pad mode, check out the chord picker screen. This screen allows you to choose which 4 chords you get to play with. Find the chord picker screen in the menu and the quick column under the chord pad mode option. Unlike sounds, synth patches are monophonic. This means you cannot use chord pad mode. You can edit the synth patch by pressing the triangle button or by selecting Edit Synth Patch from the Synth Tools column of the menu. This takes you to the synth editor screen. Here you'll find lots of controls that govern the sound the synth makes. Take a look at the synth editor tutorial video to learn more. In the Drum Crafter, you can have up to 8 drum tracks with a different sound on each track. You can see 1 bar of your loop at a time. Each bar is split up into 4 beats, and each beat is further subdivided into 4 steps, 1/16 of a bar long. You make the sounds play by placing triggers on the tracks using the X button. Let's trigger the kick drum on each beat and see what that sounds like. And now we'll add a snare on every other beat. You can place down triggers even while your loop is playing. Press the start button to start and stop playback. Experiment with placements of triggers to create drum patterns. The Drum Crafter has a second mode that is based around live performance. This mode is called Drum Pad mode. Switch between modes using the select button. When you're in Drum Pad mode, the labels on the left-hand side of the grid will change to have action and directional button icons next to them. The action and directional button icons show you which action and directional button to press in order to play that sound, like on a drum pad. Choose Drum Pad mode Rehearse if you just want to rehearse and check out the sounds you can make. Choose Drum Pad mode Record to record your beats into your loop. When you place triggers down, you can adjust their individual volumes by holding down the X button and pressing the up or down button. You can even play with the swing setting to shuffle some of the beats around to give a different feel to the rhythm. Try it out.